Well, now come on in here, sugar. Pull up that blanket nice and snug. Tonight's story's an old one. Older than towns, older than borders, older than the written word. Tonight we're taking a quiet path. The one the Iroquois call the path of the souls. The Iroquois people, the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, and later the Tuscarora, understood something many of us forget. That life is not lived alone, and neither is death. Their stories, beliefs, and rituals were shaped long before outsiders arrived, woven together when the Great Law of Peace formed the Iroquois Confederacy, a union meant to heal division and keep balance among the people. And when death came, it tore that balance. When a person died, the Iroquois believed the spirit did not leave right away. For 10 days, the ghost of the deceased remained close, listening, watching, remembering. At the end of those 10 days, a feast was held, and only then did the spirit begin its journey along the Milky Way, that shining road in the sky known as the path of the souls. Death did more than take a life. It tore the social fabric of the people. To mend it, the Iroquois held condolence ceremonies. Members of the opposite clan came to comfort the bereaved because the Iroquois society is matrilineal and balance must always be restored. Food was shared, words were spoken, even the dead were offered a portion because they were still present. Sometimes, a year later, a final feeding was held, for it was believed the soul returned once more on the anniversary of death. Before burial or placement on a scaffold, there were days of wailing, raw, echoing grief. Then came the great mourning, 6 days of silence. Mourners lay face down on mats, wrapped in robes, speaking little. No fire was kept, even in winter. Food was eaten cold. They left their homes only at night, as quietly as shadows. Afterwards came the lesser mourning, which lasted a full year. Hair was left unoiled, festivals were avoided, marriage was forbidden. Grief to the Iroquois was not rushed. Each year, sometimes twice, the village gathered for the Feast to the Dead. Led by a sacred women's society, this all-night ceremony began with tobacco offerings, songs, and dances. Food was left out because the dead were believed to return to their former homes to eat. The living and the dead shared the night together. And once every 12 years came something even greater, the Great Feast of the Dead. The remains of all who had died during those 12 years were gathered together from scaffolds, from graves. Their bones were laid in a vast pit lined with beaver skin, their most precious fur of all. Wampum, copper tools, pottery, treasures of a lifetime were all placed together, then covered and sealed. And as the pit was closed, the people gave away everything they had saved over those 12 years, because the dead were honored, not with hoarding, but with generosity. The Iroquois believed that grief must be shared, spoken, sung, and finally released. They understood that death does not end relationships, it changes them. So tonight, sugar, if you've ever looked up at the Milky Way and felt like it was more than just stars, maybe you were right. Maybe it is a road, and maybe someone you love has already walked it. Rest now. The ancestors are listening. I'll see you again soon when Granny has another story waiting by the fire. You have a good night now.